People mix these cases together and then argue about the wrong facts. So let's slow down and do it properly. In the next 10 minutes, you will get a clear timeline of Prince Harry's main UK press court cases, the current status of each one and what is already on record. No character attacks, no drama framing, just the record and the context. We are doing this in 5 parts: the trigger, the filing lane, the evidence lane, the outcome lane, and what changed. Part 1 starts now, the trigger. To understand the situation properly, you only need some basic background. The United Kingdom has a long and well-documented history of problems involving parts of the press. Over the years, there have been serious allegations that some newspapers used illegal methods to get private information. This included phone hacking, unlawfully accessing voicemail messages, and other improper ways of gathering personal details about public figures. Some of these cases were investigated and later settled outside of court. In those situations, the companies involved agreed to pay compensation, and the cases ended without a full public trial. Other cases did not move forward to a complete courtroom process, meaning the public never saw all the evidence fully examined in court. This is why Harry's legal actions are important. His cases help create a clearer public record. Instead of rumours or private settlements, these cases bring specific publishers and specific time periods into the spotlight. They help clarify who is being accused, what allegedly happened, and when it happened. Now here is the most important point to understand. Not all of these legal actions are the same. They are separate cases. They involve different newspaper publishers. They follow different legal paths, and they have different outcomes. If you mix them together, everything feels confusing. But if you look at each case separately, step by step, it becomes much easier to understand what is happening and why. Mirror Group newspapers. This is the case most people are referring to when they say that Harry won a court judgment. It is the decision that is most often quoted in news reports, online debates, and social media discussions. In simple terms, the claim was that illegal methods were used to collect his private information. These methods are commonly described as unlawful information gathering. That can include practices such as phone hacking, hiring private investigators to obtain confidential details, or using other improper techniques to access personal information. The argument presented in court was that this private material did not just sit in a file somewhere. It was used to produce tabloid stories that were then published. Importantly, the court did not attempt to examine every single article ever written about him. That would not be practical. Instead, the judge reviewed a carefully selected sample of articles. Each of those articles was examined in detail. The court looked at timelines, internal records, witness statements, and other evidence to decide whether unlawful methods were connected to that specific piece of reporting. What makes the outcome especially important is that it was not a complete victory on every single point, nor was it a complete rejection. It was not a simple black and white decision. The judge approached the case article by article. For some of the articles, judge concluded that unlawful information gathering had occurred and that it contributed to the reporting. For those, Harry succeeded and was awarded damages. That means the court formally recognised wrongdoing in those instances. However, for other articles included in the sample, the judge found that there was not enough evidence to prove unlawful methods were used. Those parts of the claim were rejected. This mixed result matters because it reflects how courts actually operate. Judges do not decide cases based on general feelings, public pressure, or overall narratives. They examine specific evidence tied to specific claims. This case is a good example of how real legal decisions are made. A court tests the strength of the evidence. It weighs credibility. It compares arguments from both sides. It may accept some arguments and reject others within the same lawsuit. That process can lead to a nuanced outcome rather than a dramatic all-or-nothing headline. News Group newspapers. This case involves the publisher that owns The Sun and the now closed News of the World. The case was moving toward a full trial. That means both sides were preparing to present evidence in court, call witnesses, and have a judge make a final decision. However, just as the trial was about to begin, the case was settled. Now, this is where many people get confused. A settlement is not the same as a court verdict after a full trial. In a full trial, a judge or jury reviews all the evidence and makes a formal ruling. A settlement is different. It means both sides agree to resolve the dispute without finishing the trial process. But that does not mean a settlement is meaningless. In this particular settlement, the publisher issued a public apology. It accepted that unlawful activity had taken place in relation to Harry. There was also an acknowledgement connected to phone hacking at the News of the World. That is why this became a major headline story. It was not just about financial compensation, it was also about what the publisher formally admitted and stated publicly as part of the resolution. So here is the calm and balanced media literacy point. When you see people online claiming that a settlement means nothing, that is not accurate. A settlement means the parties chose to end the legal dispute without continuing through a full trial. It may not answer every single question, it may not test every piece of evidence in court, but it can still include important admissions, apologies, and statements that become part of the public record. Associated Newspapers Limited. This is the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. This case is different because it is currently in the evidence phase. It has moved into trial, and the publisher denies the allegations. The allegations involve unlawful information gathering methods across past years, including things like phone hacking and deception to obtain private information. Because this is in trial, it is essential to use disciplined language. These are claims being tested. They are not findings yet. So here is your simple viewer rule. Allegations are what someone says happened. Findings are what a court decides after hearing evidence. Until the court rules or a settlement resolves it, this remains open. If you only remember one thing from this section, remember that difference. It protects you from being manipulated by confident voices on either side. The libel claim he withdrew. Separate from the privacy allegations case, Harry also brought a libel claim against the Mail on Sunday publisher over an article linked to his security arrangements. That claim did not proceed to a full trial because he later withdrew it. This matters for one reason. It proves that legal battles are not a simple storyline of constant wins. Some claims go forward. Some claims narrow, some claims stop. That is not weakness, that is litigation reality. Now let's bring it together. Here is what is on the record. 1. Harry won a judgment against Mirror Group newspapers on a number of articles, and the court awarded damages while rejecting other parts. 2. He settled with News Group newspapers, and that settlement included a public apology and admissions tied to unlawful activity. 3. His case against Associated Newspapers is being fought in court now and is still being decided, with allegations denied by the publisher. 4. The separate libel claim linked to security arrangements was withdrawn. And here is what people get wrong. They compress everything into one vague sentence and then argue around it. That is how misinformation grows. If this format helps you, subscribe for more clear timelines. And if you want the next case mapped out, comment with the one you want next. One claim at a time, one record at a time. Calm clarity.